Morning and welcome to my channel. Hmm, It's still very early on a Sunday morning here, and I'd like to introduce myself briefly. I'm going by the name Sapphire Bloodthorn. Um, you'll notice I selected a rather gothic sounding pseudonym for my channel, and the reason for that um, is because of the relatively dark nature of my video and um, subject matter to come. I was hoping to start out with something a little less personal, but um, again, the events from this week have prompted me to start off in a slightly different direction than I had originally planned, and I'll get more into that as we go. So, I do have a little bit of laryngitis going on. That's It's okay, it's part of life, right? And that's what we're going to be talking about today, is a little bit about life and death. So, um, the voice. I live about 20 miles from one of the largest wildfires ever in Arizona. Um, I, Last I checked, it was up to 70,000 acres, and uh, was about 34% contained, and some rural areas were being evacuated. Now, I'm a little rural, but but I'm not in the line of fire, so to speak. So the flames don't directly affect me, but the pollution, the smoke in the air, and the air pollution from it does tend to travel. So I'm super sensitive to my environment, and so I may have a little a little scratchiness that goes on while I'm talking. So I do apologize for that. But as I said, it is life, and that's part of what I'm here for today. So I got some disturbing news this week, and anyone that's ever dealt with the loss of a parent, or anyone that's ever dealt with the loss of a parent or parental care at a distance, I'm hoping that chronicling my experience can help you in some way. I also have a friend who's dealing with a parent going through the end of life. I won't talk about her experience um, without consulting her on it first. But her experience with it is definitely a little different than mine. Uh, so we know we all grieve a little bit differently, different stages at different times. But I think what prompted me to change the direction of my video, and I thought about that this morning. My partner last night asked me if I was okay. And I said that I was fine, just a little sad, but that I wasn't going to get too caught up in it. After all, the parent in this case is my mom, and she's still with us. So I can be a little sad now, but there will be time to be sad later what's more important right now is the practical aspect of what we're dealing with. So, uh, my mom is in end stage COPD. And again, another reason for a pseudonym to protect my family. Um, they don't need the 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 drama and backlash that could come from my choices. So my mom is in end stage COPD. I got a phone call on Thursday letting me know that my mother, excuse me, that my mother uh, has opted in for hospice. Now, this may sound lovely, and in some ways it is, but I'm 1,000 miles away in Arizona, and she is in another state. I'm her only child, and she's a widow. She lives alone. So there's some unique challenges. It's not like, I live down the street and can go see mom every day. So the story is like this. She, I guess, got dehydrated. They got her to the hospital. Uh, she opted in for hospice care, which is essentially comfort only. So anyone who doesn't know what hospice is, they provide for patient comfort. They don't uh, administer any medical treatment. So if you're going through cancer, all chemo would stop, radiation, anything related to that illness, the treatment stops. It's symptom management and comfort care. So, like in my mom's case, the COPD, she has her oxygen and her inhalers, and I think some kind of cream for foot cramping. But there's no treatments being given for improving the lung function um, or any heart medications, nothing to prevent heart attacks or treat a heart condition. She has a DNR, do not resuscitate. So what that does is, I believe they have to try to resuscitate you at least once. I think that's the law, at least where she is. And if they fail, they don't have to try again, because the do not resuscitate order is in place. Now, for most people, they would keep trying as long as they can, um, and over and over and over again. Some people prefer that. Some people prefer the, do not resuscitate. My mom has chosen not to, which is fine. I don't want to see her suffer. She's not doing well as it is. She's a small woman to begin with, 5'2" and full fire. But she's down to 75 pounds, and she doesn't eat. She's got terrible arthritis. I don't want my mom to suffer. She's not doing well. So I fully support her decision. And I think that's important when when planning end of life care and elder care. It's crucial we do not treat them like children. Yes, it may feel like we're parenting our parents, and in some ways we are, but it is so important that they feel like they're part of the process, that they're making the decisions. And I feel it's equally important that we support what they want. It's not about being selfish. When a parent is getting ready to pass, it's going to happen. Living in denial and pretending that they're going to live forever, and no matter what kind of quality of life they have, um, it we need to be cognizant that that person is affected. It's not just about us, the loved ones. Yes, we're going to be affected. It hurts. We don't want to lose that parent. I'm not ready to say goodbye to my mom. I, I'd love to have more time to ask my mom for tips on how she makes her oven baked chicken, or what to do when my cat has a certain, when my cat gets sick. But the reality is, my mom is not in that part of her life anymore where those things are interesting to her. I mean, she still wants to help her daughter, her only child. She's definitely still the parent, and that's okay. I let her. I don't argue. If she wants to criticize my hair, okay, mom, I'll do something different with it tomorrow. I just don't fight with her about things that are unimportant. Uh, but what I was saying, we need to consider the feelings of that person as much as we want to hold on to them and keep them around. And I I feel like it's more important to be fair to that person. And again, we all grieve differently. Some people have a much harder time letting go, um, and that's okay. Just don't fight with them and beg them to stay and cry and fuss when you're with them. It's really, really important um, that a passing is peaceful. And we can talk about my beliefs on that another time, and we probably will. But uh, what I want to do today is sort of chronicle the process I'm going through on the practical side. As I said, there will be time to be sad later. Right now, I have to be pragmatic. There are needs that must be taken care of. So I have scheduled a one-way flight. I ordered my tickets online, printed them out right here at home on my personal computer, and um, so I'll check in online. I'm leaving at my flight's at like 6:20 in the morning. I have to leave my house by like 3:30 or 4 o'clock to to make my flight. It's okay. It's my mom. My mom would do it for me. So what's going to happen now is she's going home. They will be releasing her into her own care, and I will get into more on that as we go. But what's happening today is, as I said, I've purchased my ticket. I'm fortunate. I have I have a good job with a supportive employer. I have uh, I have plenty of sick time, vacation time saved up. I have really good benefits that give me ample vacation time, which I don't use fully. I take some every year, but I don't ever run myself out of vacation time. That is going to be one of the first things I suggest. If you get 2 weeks of vacation every year, use one. If your company lets you roll it over and accumulate the way mine does, yes, take that time off when you need it. Take a vacation, get away. We all need that too. But make sure you save some for emergencies. So uh, I'm leaving to go. I bought a one-way ticket and I have enough vacation time. I scheduled myself off for 2 weeks to go. And if I come back earlier, great. If we get mom settled and everything's fine, um, and I can come back, fine. But if not, and I have to deal with something more serious after I get there, I'm covered there a little bit too. We all know this time is going to come with a parent, and especially if our parent is widowed, they don't have a spouse to sit with them and take care of them at home. So I'm going, and I'm going to be staying with my mom for however long I need to do that. And she is going home to her own house, and I believe hospice is scheduled to come in. They'll send her a nurse once a week, and 3 times a week, someone will come in for personal care to help her get a shower. Uh, I don't know what else. I'll be talking to them about that when I get there. Now, I have serious concerns about my mom living alone. She does have someone who comes in and cleans for her. She does have somebody that does her yard work and gets her mail and small tasks like that. Um, thank you. She finally agreed to get meals ordered in. So we now have a service that will be delivering meals to the house. And we can talk about that a little bit down the road as well. Um, but she she agreed to get meals delivered. They'll get put in the freezer. She can take it out, and if it's something that has to be heated, pop it in the microwave. I believe there's supposed to be snacks included. Again, I'll find out more when I get there. And we actually get meals and start getting organized in this direction. So my mom's friend, thank God, she's got friends. She does have a friend that checks in on her every day, um, but we've decided she may need more care, which if she falls, if she needs to change her oxygen tank, that's a struggle for her. So we are in the process of evaluating what she'll need, what kind of care she'll need. She will have to pay for it herself because she does own her home, and she has a little bit of um, because Medicare won't cover it. So we have to find a way to pay for some in-home care. I'll work overtime as my employer will allow. Um, we may have to sell some of her furniture or something. I don't know. We'll know more when we get there. But this is a big concern, I know, for a lot of people. What to do when it comes time for that end of life care. Now, because she owns her home and she's been there for almost 30 years, she is being very resistant and will not go into a full care facility. My mom has always been strong and independent, like I'm sure some of your parents. Um, so the idea is to see what kind of care we can get for her at home. As I said, she has a couple of people from her church that come in and help with minor tasks like doing some dishes, um, grocery shopping, vacuuming, dusting, that sort of thing. And the guy comes and does her yard work, gets her paper, brings in the mail, um, and minor maintenance things. So she's very fortunate to have that kind of support system. Uh, I personally am extremely grateful and feel blessed. I've tried talking to her over and over and over again to get her to move here with me. She could she could come live at my house and we could take care of her. And it would not be an issue to us. My mom adores my partner. He adores my mom. Uh, we could rearrange the downstairs to make a room for her so that she wouldn't have to climb the stairs in my two-story house. She has stairs in her house. She lives alone. Mom. She has a split level, so that it's not as many stairs, but still, it's stairs. And she just won't leave. She won't go to a care facility. She won't come live here with me. I know there's other people out there with parents who are just as stubborn. So we take a deep breath and we love them and we try to be patient. So in my case, I'm taking some time. I'm going to her. I'm going to spend some time over the next week talking to care providers to see what types of services are available, what it will cost, how much overtime I have to work to pay for it, whatever else we have to do to make arrangements. Uh, and I know that's a concern for a lot of people. So in some states, I believe there used to be a policy that you'd have to sell your home and be completely displaced if anything if you ended up needing long-term care. So um, I know that has changed, at least where my mom is. You can continue to own your home and one car. My mom doesn't have a car. She quit driving a couple years ago. Thank you. It was way past time for her to quit driving. I know there's people out there with parents um, dealing with that as well. So the process now is they will be releasing her from the hospital hospice care into um, her own care to go back at home. So she'll go home. A caseworker will come by and evaluate her needs, and I intend to be there and talk to them as well. My plan is to get as much information as I can. Here's another thing that's very important, uh, especially when it's something that's kind of predictable. A parent has cancer, COPD, other, or any other illness that is likely to progress. Um, Huntington's, for instance, um, even Alzheimer's. So it is really important to get a plan together, to have assets um, determined. I don't know um, where my mom sits on everything. If I believe we're talking about getting a beneficiary deed for her home so that it won't have to go to probate. Even though I'm uh, the next of kin, um, and the what heir apparent. I mean, what's the term? Um, but I am um, the only um, I'm the only child by birth. I do have a stepsister, which um, I definitely need to consider in things. The executor, that's the word I'm looking for. I am the executor. It's my responsibility to make sure things are handled fairly when the time does come. So we uh, we have a plan. Now, where my mom is, if there is no will and there is no beneficiary deed, the house does not go directly to me. It has to go through probate. My mom has been telling me for years she doesn't want the house to go to probate. She wants me to just deal with it. She wants it to come to me. I deal with it, share what I'm supposed to share, split anything up if there's anything to split at that point. Um, we don't think we'll get a lot of money for the house, and that's okay. I don't care. What I care about, again, is in my situation, her care is most important, but her wishes are important too. So she wants to avoid, she wants to keep things as convenient as possible. And I definitely recommend this. Even if your parents are still married, is the surviving parent going to stay in the home? Is the surviving parent going to go into care themselves? Are they going to move in with one of their children? Is one of the children going to come live with them? These are all things we need to think about. Um, and there's no one right or wrong answer for everyone. These are things that must be evaluated on a case by case basis. There's no one size fits all parents go to a nursing facility or all parents move in with one of their children. In my case, um, my stepfather, my mother had been diagnosed with this COPD a few years ago. She had been told it could be months, it could be years. Well, 6, 7 years later, here we are, and she's still here. 4 years ago, my stepdad had colon cancer, and it literally was a matter of, um, I think, 3 weeks from diagnosis to the end. And I think my mom took it harder than she wanted to admit. But, for a year and a half, 2 years before that, we'd all been talking about, you know, my mom's care and and making a plan for when he was widowed, how I could help him. So things don't always work the way we think they're going to. Um, we were notified there was a problem, and within a week, he was gone. Didn't even get to go say goodbye. So mom is, uh, you know, it, so we found ourselves in a different situation with than what we had planned. Um, we always thought she would, um, that he would outlive her, and it didn't go that way. So I will say it's also important to have a contingency because you just don't know. So we're going to go talk about uh, what she needs at home. I will have a list of certain types of care that the hospital provided. My mom's friend is there with her. They gave the friend a list of services that we can look into. So we will be doing that. Um, and then we'll just see what's next. My mom didn't ever think she would reach a point of needing all of this. Back to that denial. So, more on the emotional side of things. As I said, I can be a little sad now, but when I get off that plane tomorrow and I'm in her presence, it is all about spending time together, taking care of business, handling the practical side of life. She's not gone yet. She might be here 2 weeks. She might be here another 2 years. We don't know. And it's not something that anybody can predict down to the day and time. And I wouldn't want that. I'm glad we know what's coming to make, preparations and be emotionally, um, I don't know if ready's the word, but prepared to know what's coming, what to expect. So when a loved one is diagnosed with something, it's important to know what's coming, what to, what to watch for, um, and to be there to be supportive and not in a pity, oh, I'm so sorry you're sick kind of way. I know that's what, a lot of people tend to do. Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, yeah, that person needs to feel loved, not pitied. It's make those final memories. That's my plan. I'm going to go and I'm going to be happy to spend time with mom. And even if I'm crushed inside, I'm not going to get enveloped in that. She's still here. There's still time to have those conversations, to watch that TV show together, to bake some cookies. There's still time for those memories and to make the most of the time that's left. It's going to be a joy for me to be able to prepare a meal for my mom. And is there some sadness that I know it may be the last time or one of the last few times I will get to do this? A little bit, but again, that doesn't matter. She's still here. She still needs me to be her daughter. And she still needs to, she still needs to have her mind stimulated. She's not suffering dementia. She's not, um, you know, losing her memory any more than the normal slowing with age, but she's still very alert, um, very much able to communicate um, in the physical sense. She can tell me what she wants. We can have a conversation. And she needs that. That's important. And, um, sticking parents in a corner and saying, okay, well, we'll get you some physical care and we're going to be sad. That's not fair to the parent. And so I'm going to make the most of it. I'm going to have a good time. And I'll be sad later. And I know not everybody's capable of that, um, which gets us to the next point, self-care. So when dealing with a parent who's, uh, who has a stressful end of life situation, we worry. we get stressed out, we try to take it all on ourselves. Having had some experience with this before, both my biological father and my stepfather have passed. I was there in my paternal grandmother's last days. So I've had some experience with this where someone who never has may struggle differently than the way I will. So I really want to stress the importance of self-care. Get some help, even if it's a friend or another relative to come in for an hour to take your shift with your loved one um, every couple of days. Um, yes, be there day and night. I support that. I agree with that, and I would do that. But make sure you get some respite. Go, go get a massage or a manicure, or gentlemen, uh, go blow off some steam. Hit a golf ball. Um, make sure you get enough sleep. Make sure you're eating. That is one thing we tend to do when we're caring for loved ones. We neglect ourselves, and eating is part of that. We forget to eat. I also highly recommend taking time out for prayer, meditation, uh, just some quiet time, if that's what um, if that's what you need. But definitely every day, take that time to pray if you're religious, and meditate if you're religious, or if you're not religious, um, or to just give yourself some quiet. Those things are so important for your own well-being, because when all is said and done, you're still here. When that parent's gone, you still have your own home to take care of, your own children who need you, your own job that you have to go back to. Um, and it can be tough, but taking those moments out for yourself, your, you know, 30 minutes uh, of just silent contemplation, meditation, prayer, whatever works for you. I personally am a meditator. Um, but take that space, and then do take the time to make sure you're eating, make sure you're bathing, make sure you're sleeping some, and make sure that your other loved ones know that you still care about them, your children, your husband or wife, or your partner. In my case, my partner of 24 years. Um, he's amazing at helping me through these things, And in turn, it's important for me to let him know how much I appreciate it. So, uh, the rest of the day, I'm going to spend preparing my home for me to be gone because I'm leaving my beloved and my cat home alone. So I have to make sure they're um, they're prepared to be without me for a little while. So I'll be packing and um, just little travel tip. If you're traveling somewhere where there's a family home, it's cheaper to mail your clothes ahead in a flat rate box. If you pack up 3 or 4 days worth of clothes and just mail them ahead of time, they can be there when you get there and you don't have to check bags at the airport. I did that a couple years ago. I just mailed a bunch of clothes to my mom's house. Um, I don't have much. I think I mailed like 2 days worth. So I still take some with me in my carry-on bag, but $8 to ship a box versus $30 to check a bag, no brainer. Then for me, knowing that I go back and visit, I just leave some there. So I mean, it's not enough for a full trip, but it's definitely enough that if if I had checked a bag and my bag got lost, I wouldn't be without. Just a little tip. I also usually um, don't take a carry-on. I just take my personal item with some small essentials, a change of underwear and socks, a pair of leggings, and like maybe an extra top and a sweater, whatever I can fit in with my laptop and some, my um, face wipes and my makeup. But I do tend to try to travel light, particularly in these situations. Now, if I was just going on vacation, I'm going to Europe or something, I'm packing everything but the kitchen sink and taking my whole, checked bags and all of that. But because I'm going to be with family and there's a place to hold my stuff, it just seemed to be a more practical solution for me to mail some clothes in advance. Now, this particular trip came up rather suddenly. It wasn't like I was planning it for 6 weeks, and so my plane ticket was a little more than usual. So I only bought a one-way ticket. That is for two reasons. One, I'm not sure how long I'm going to be there, and if I ended up being there longer than I wanted, then I forfeit the other half of my ticket, right? My return flight. Likewise, if I want to, if things work out and I can come home earlier, then I just get another one-way ticket home and probably have a payday in between. We'll work it out. So, again, end of life travel is definitely different than vacation travel. So, I will leave it at that. I'm going to go pack and make sure that laundry's done and people can function here at home um, with minimal stress while I'm away. And I'll be doing another video in a couple of days with updates on the next steps in the process. So, in the meantime, thank you so much for sticking with me here. And I'll see what we can do to get some other tips and information up. Check out my Patreon page, and I will see what I may be able to post some resources there as well. I may wait until I'm back home before I actually upload the videos. I'm not sure yet. In the meantime, um, have a blessed day, and I will see you next time.